Day, office hours go nightly for night 2. That's because it's our February chain of title clean sprint. Each day I send out a quick email with a mission designed to be short enough for you to do before breakfast, but impactful enough to save your production. And then each night I hop on here for about 10 minutes to help be an educational resource to you and other filmmakers. First, before we begin, let's go over the rules of the road quickly. I am an attorney, but I am not your attorney. Nothing we say here creates an attorney-client relationship. This is educational guidance for the independent film community. If you have a specific legal emergency, hire local counsel. Second, please do not share any personal or sensitive information. It's best to keep all questions hypothetical, rather asking the direct questions about direct people with direct problems. Finally, if you would like to ask a question, please just throw an emoji up in the questions and I will bring you up on stage, or you can type the question in the chat. When you do come up on stage, please introduce yourself, give us your name, a quick little log line, and affirmatively state that you understand that this is for educational purposes only. So far, throughout this February clean chain of title sprint, there has been 3 assignments. The first, organizational. I explained how you can't audit a mess without a bucket. So before we look at a single contract, we need a place to put all of those contracts. So on Sunday, we asked you to look at the infrastructure. We asked you to create basically 5-folder system so that you can have a master chain of title that's clean and efficient and able to be delivered in under 5 minutes if your distributor asks. And those 5 folders we asked you to go over were the underlying rights, which is the script and story rights, the talent, which is the cast, your crew and your production, your locations, which are your permits and your releases, and then finally your music and your score, which is your audio. So for that assignment on Sunday night, we simply asked you to create that folder system. The second assignment we were talking about, which was on Monday, was about your writer and securing the IP contracts for that. If you don't own the script, you don't have the movie. Distributors don't care about shot lists. They only care about that clean chain of title. So our mission for yesterday was let's pull up your writer's agreement, your option agreement, or your shopping agreement, rename it into the proper protocol, and then drop it into folder number 1, your underlying rights folder. Then do the red flag check. So what is the red flag check for the writer's agreement? Simply open the PDF and search for the phrase certificate of authorship or work made for hire. If you find that there is a clause in your contract that says the production company is the author and the owner, then you pass. That means you've hired them for a work made for hire, which is perfect. However, if you search a contract and it's completely silent on the terms of ownership, author, and or work for made for hire, then it means your writer retains the copyright. So your production company actually does not own. So if there is a fix for that, what you need to do is a quick claim deed or execute a brand new writer's agreement immediately. And that's going to be shared on the NonDē Film Lab's website. You can check it out. There's a full walkthrough for a writer's agreement. Before I jump into the third assignment, which was today's assignment, I have one quick question. I have Lucas who left a question in the comments. He said he's an experimental filmmaker that has a short film as a proof of concept based on a feature film he intends to make. But I need 2 different types of distributor contracts, one for the short and one for the feature. So it depends on how you organize the actual execution of the contracts and the agreements. I did the exact same thing. I'm actually in the process of having my proof of concept go out to investors that will then be used to help inform everything going forward with my feature film. And what I did in that case, to be abundantly clear, is I made sure that we had 2 different sets of contracts for everything, because this is technically 2 separate projects. You're going to be executing it under 2 separate SAG agreements. If you were to do it with SAG, if you were to do it with non-union, that doesn't really apply. But it's always best to have everything separated and segmented. Now, that doesn't mean you need a whole separate production company. That doesn't mean you need a whole separate bank account or everything like that, because if it's under one business, you should be okay. Um, Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that puts you in the right way. Lucas, finding research on figuring out whether or not you should have two different sets of contracts. It's probably best practice, but you can get away with it if it's under one production company and under one individual project and it's non-union. If it's SAG, you're going to definitely need to have two separate contracts. So today's assignment, excuse me, for Tuesday was talking about actors and the dubbing trap. Actors are the face of the film's project, but they can also sometimes be your biggest liability if your lead actor decides that they hate the final cut, and they block the release. Well, if you don't have the right phrases in your contract, they can. So today's mission was locate your appearance release or your actor deal memo for your supporting, your lead actors, and your background actors. You were first going to rename it, excuse me, and then you were going to drop it into folder 2, which was labeled the talent folder. And then you're going to do our simple red flag check. And today's red flag check is scan the document for the rant of rights section and looking for dubbing and likeness. The common trap is, does the contract require the actor's permission to dub the voice for foreign markets? If you have a dubbing section, you're generally all set. If it mentions digital simulations or AI, you want to check for that. A lot of times distributors are demanding these days that you have the ability to use slight changes like a blank change and edit blink of an eye with AI, as opposed to having to manually paint it on per frame. So just check those two things. If your release is from 1990 and doesn't mention digital rights, then make sure your talent signs new standard appearance releases or have them sign an addendum. So before we pause there, I'll ask if anyone has any questions. Feel free to leave them in the comments, or throw an emoji in the comment and I'll bring you up on stage. Otherwise, we're going to slowly wind up here. So today was about your talent. Tomorrow is going to be about your locations, making sure you have the right releases for your locations. So here's your homework this week. Follow along the challenge, do each assignment immediately. And when you're done, you'll have a perfect chain of title and zero anxiety when a distributor asks to see it. Again, today was cast and crew. Tomorrow is going to be locations. And I will see you all tomorrow night for another quick check-in. That's about 10 minutes or less. Let's get to work, everyone, and make sure we have that clean chain of title. Thanks for joining the NonDē Filmmaking Legal Lab. My name is Rekola, and have a great night, everyone.